Alright, welcome back, guys. I hope you're doing well. This last week I wrote an article about my experience at a public school in Denver when I first started high school. And the article is called Weaponized Education. Now, a lot of people probably know a little bit about politics being in schools, and you've probably seen a little bit about that. I know for a period of time, it was relatively popular among like conservative YouTube channels and all those people. It was a popular thing to talk about. But like everything, it quickly faded away for some new drama to chase after. But I want to tell you guys a little bit more about that story. At least I wanted to do so more in depth. And because I think it's a very interesting story, and it's got an important message along with it, which is this is not an isolated event. Not at all. And I've been saying this for years now. In fact, I had a YouTube channel a couple of years ago dedicated to talking about schools and how terrible schools are. Now, for the most part, it was focused on politics and political education and politics entering curriculum in schools, but it later went into me discovering, or my dad telling me about John Taylor Gatto, reading some of his books and then going, oh, that's exactly what I thought the entire time. So school itself without political curriculum is bad. Already. It's a terrible thing to start off with in the first place. Anyway, it was August of 2020, and I was going to South High School in the Denver Public Schools. And, of course, at this time, everyone was staring at their computer screen for a few hours a day, listening to a teacher talk for a little bit, and that was called school. We were all doing virtual learning. First week of school, of course, is all just pretty much a big waste of time. You go there for the same exact amount of time you would during the rest of school, except you're just being told to sit in a circle and tell everyone your name and what you like to do. So we were all doing that, and I figured it was going to be pretty boring, especially since we're all just staring at our computer all day. That wasn't until I saw, first off, pronouns in their bio, or in their name, in their Zoom name. Next to their actual name, they would put he, him, she, her, and maybe there was one person with she, they, or something like that. So I'm like, okay. I'm not too surprised. Here it is. But that wasn't the worst of it. Because even during those few days where it was just all meet your teachers and your principal, guess who was wearing BLM shirts? The principal and my English teacher were wearing BLM shirts. And, there might have been some other people, but those are the only people I remember wearing those shirts. And I got pictures of them, which I'll put up on screen. So I was like, yeah, it's getting bad. It's getting really bad. And especially during that time with BLM, it seemed like that wasn't really going to go away for a very long time. And it was just going to be adapted into schools. And it is for some schools. But even though it's not in most schools anymore, specifically BLM stuff, it can come back. And everything else besides the BLM stuff is still there, so it doesn't really matter. It's just as bad. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I'm going to, take pictures of these things that I see while I'm here, because at this point, as soon as I started seeing this stuff, and as soon as I realized that I'm not actually learning anything, and as soon as my dad realized that, we were just thinking of doing homeschooling instead. So I was thinking, okay, I have 1, maybe 2 months here, why don't I take some pictures of the things I see, and then I can talk about it, because people need to know that this is happening. Because everyone around me was, or all these kids and all these parents were acting as if it was normal. And of course, most kids aren't going to tell their parents like what goes on at school, especially since if everyone's being taught the same thing, you think, oh, well then it's good. It's probably okay then. Doesn't really matter. I don't need to talk about it. Anyway, more and more time passes, and then one day I'm in math class. Okay, what are we going to learn in math class, I wonder? Well, how about the teacher starting off math class talking about her favorite politicians? So, who were they? It was Obama, AOC, and a local school board member named Tay Anderson, who is completely terrible. And actually, in my article, it links to a story about what happened to him and why he's now labeled as disgraced. So you can go check that out. But that's math class. So I'm like, wow, if I do make videos out of this is going to be some good content. But at the same time, I was getting more and more angry because it's insane that no one would say anything. Here's one thing. I actually just remembered this. When the math teacher said that about her favorite politicians, I didn't get on screen in Zoom, and I think they had some permission settings on there where you couldn't unless they allowed you to. Like you couldn't turn your microphone on or camera on unless they allowed you to, I think. But I typed in the Zoom chat, why are you teaching us this? You are a math teacher, we're supposed to be learning math. And she, as soon as she saw that, she goes, am I going to have to kick you out, Maxim? And I said, sure. I'd be happy if you kicked me out. So, there was that, and then guess what? Science class. Well, I wonder what we're going to learn in science. How about pronouns again, and the genderbread man. Now, I'm fairly certain this was at this school. I feel like I saw the genderbread man at the Denver Public School, but I was also later sent this, the genderbread man, by a student in Canada who had the same thing going on there. And that was after I started this channel and maybe had a few thousand subscribers, and I had students sending me stuff from all over the place, from Australia, from Texas, from Canada, all over the place, California. And people say, well, California, I mean, of course it's in California, that's why you don't want to be there. Or New York, well, of course it's in New York, that's why, all the liberals are there, you don't want to be there. No, I can tell you, from the countless hours of research I have done on this stuff, from I don't know how many videos I made about it. Unfortunately, I deleted the channel, but I don't know how many videos I made about it. I know for a fact you cannot escape this. You're not going to get away from it by going to a red state. Every school I looked at in Texas, you could see it. You could find it. You could find the diversity, equity, inclusion curriculum anywhere you look. Anywhere. It's about trying to figure out how to find it. That's the important part, because most people don't want to look anyway. But what most people don't do is they don't draw the line until the line has been crossed 1,000 times and they are dead. That's when people finally draw the line, is when they get hurt. It's like that. They came for the, and I did nothing. Then they came for the, and I did nothing. I did nothing. And then they came for me, and no one would help me, or there was no one left to help me. It's that same story. What you want to do is you want to go to, if you have kids, you want to go to their school website. Look on every page you can. If you see diversity, equity, or inclusion, those 3 words, anywhere, that's a sign. And people go, well, that's just one word. I mean, they just put it in there to make it look good and, but no, I guarantee you, if you ask for the entire curriculum, you probably won't get it, or you'll see that there is so much more than you could possibly understand in there. So much more than you could possibly understand. Another thing, I wanted to find out what the curriculum was at the Denver Public Schools. So I asked the curriculum team over and over and over again over the course of months, and they just kept stalling, giving me the curriculum guide, which was maybe 30 pages long, but again, it was just a guide to the curriculum, and I'm pretty sure it was outdated. It wasn't for that school year. So I'm like, okay, this is strange. Why are they being so weird? Why are they stalling and not actually sending me the curriculum? Well, I decided I'd file a Freedom of Information Act request in 2021, I believe. Well, guess what? They get back to me a little later, and they tell me that the curriculum is actually produced by a private company. So they do not have to give the curriculum up to me because it's owned by a private company. It's not public information. Well, that seems like a pretty big deal, doesn't it? I mean, come on. As soon as you see something like that, you have to, you'd be insane, literally insane and stupid to not go, I'm taking my kids out of school today. Today, they're out of school and they're never coming back. Why would they want a private company to own all that? I wonder. I made so many videos of this, and yet people would still say, oh, red state, blue state, private school, public school. No. As I went on, and more people are realizing it now, it doesn't matter public or private school. It's everywhere. It doesn't matter blue state or red state. It's everywhere. The only real option is homeschooling. That's the only true 100% safe and effective option. That's it. That is it. I mean, Porter Stanbury, who, since you guys are, a lot of you guys are from Doug Casey's Take, probably heard of him. If you haven't seen the most recent live stream that my dad and Doug did on Doug Casey's Take, then you wouldn't have heard about this. But so Porter found out from one of his kids that there was all of a sudden, which is not really all of a sudden, but all of a sudden a lot of political stuff flowing into the school. And this time they were sent for MLK Jr. Day. The kids were told to watch some movies related to MLK in some way. And one of the movies was, and I have never seen this, never want to see it, but apparently one of the movies was Brokeback Mountain, which is a gay cowboy movie. How that relates to MLK, I have no idea. But that's exactly it. And so Porter goes to the principal of the school and goes, what are you doing? I pay you, I pay the school. Why is this in the curriculum? Why are kids learning this? And the principal goes, oh, well, it's a student-led thing since 2006, so I don't really have, it's not really from me directly. Of course, all those people want to defer or put the blame on someone else. So, but that was Porter's real first taste of what's going on in his kid's school, and I think more and more people will figure out that that's the norm. It's not an exception, it's the norm. But it's going to take a whole lot more people waking up, which people are, to see everything. So my dad said to Porter, well, you should go and ask for the full curriculum, and you'll find out that there's a whole lot more you're not seeing, a whole lot more. If you guys want to go check out the Substack, it should be in the description below. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.